everyone. This is the regular board meeting of ALCOSAN. Today is September the 28th. I'm Sylvia Wilson, the board chair at this moment. We will begin the meeting with, well, that's what I said. You see, that's what I'm trying to say. We're going to begin with the pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It's going to be a long meeting. We have to start. Okay. So we please have the roll call, Mr. President. Darren Kelly.
Here.
Emily Kincaid.
Here.
Harry Reedshaw.
Here.
Teresa Cal Smith. Paul Klein.
Here. Up here in heaven.
Dr. Thorpe Gilliam. Miss Sylvia Wilson here. Thank you so much. We'll begin today's meeting with information items. However, I don't want to forget that we did have an executive session just prior to this board meeting. No votes are taken during executive session, and there was no one signed up for public comment today. We will start with our most wonderful report on the open house.
Open house, OH 2023 is in the books. A good one, memorable. Many of the people in the audience were here to help us. Board members came to support. We took a little bit of a different approach in drumming up and generating enthusiasm for the event this year, beginning with some on-air radio coverage by our Director of Operations and Maintenance, Doug Jackson. He was, did you hear him, people? Was he ahead? Because we have somebody who focuses on our social media in-house now, Miss Geneva. We did a bunch of different postings. All of it pales in comparison to day of. It's just an amazing day. And if you weren't here, public, you should have been, because this is what you missed. Get it?
That commodity that we love, the city of Three Rivers, but the people that you employ and people like yourself who've had those lifelong generational wealth type of jobs. You told me earlier, North for Sales, of course, McKeesport, White Oak area, and yeah, Pitt, and got that whole degree, bachelor's, master's, and you go right to this place, kind of like my father did many years ago. So you're giving jobs to people that can be their lifelong job. And to me, that's a great thing.
Yeah, no, I agree. And when you look at the service that the authority provides to the area and to the region, I mean, I know we're here to talk about open house, but I can't help but point out that we didn't exist until 1959. So 1958, there was no regionalized wastewater treatment in the entire region. And when you think of what the city looked like, all that waste was being discharged into the rivers, creeks, and streams. I realize folks' schedules are busy, and you have, especially this time of year, there's a variety of different other type of fall festivals, if you will, that are out there. Folks have a lot of other activities. Carving out an hour or two out of your schedule to come down and see an actively working treatment plant, bringing your children or your grandchildren down to touch a reptile. So we have some folks, some outside providers that also come in that educate and inform those folks that come to our open house. But it is our environmental event of the year. The plant tours are always a hit. Folks are always interested to know what's the most interesting thing you've ever found in the wastewater. We'll maybe save that for Tuesday's story a little bit.
I was going to bring that up, but I wanted to check with you first. But this is something you definitely have to tune in for. It's really cool stuff. Go ahead.
And there are folks that call about diamond rings. So There are
He did
some,
tell me they find some cash every once in a while. Anyway, we'll
I
talk.
don't keep it. Yeah, others you can have it.
We'll talk all about it coming up on Tuesday night. But I got to ask you, a kid growing up here, I'm sure when you were at Pitt, the hallowed halls of the Cathedral of Learning, which I love, you never would have thought that this is where you would be today. But hey, it's work in progress. It's a lot of work for sure, and it's ever changing. But it must be a really awesome feeling when you're driving home after a long week thinking, man, we just did some incredible things, our team down at ALCOSAN.
Yeah, as we talked earlier, when I first came out of school, I probably gave it a year. The place smelt. It wasn't the most glamorous facility to be at, and here we are 33 years later, and I look at the impact that we have on the region and to the community, supporting the vision of the region, certainly on the clean water side of things, and look at the everyday 24/7, 365, taking whatever pollution is coming down the pipe and turning it not into a drinking water quality, but certainly not far from it, and taking out 110,000 tons per year of some pollution out of that wastewater. It's one of those visual jobs that you get to see every day, the fruits of not only your labor, but also those skilled craftsmen, those licensed wastewater treatment operators, who very little of them, honestly, Rob, grew up with a vision to be a licensed wastewater treatment operator. They found themselves in a position to be able to aspire to something else. And it's those licensures, it's those journeymen, it's those craftsmen that are out there that are the lifeblood of how we do what we do.
This is going to be so epic. You're going to have so much fun at the ALCOSAN Open House. There are a lot of science and environmental activities for us kids.
And us adults too. Thanks, younger me. I'll take it from here. After learning about ALCOSAN's wastewater treatment process, you'll leave here fascinated and even a little smarter. ALCOSAN employees, past and present, are proud of what they do to protect the environment and water quality, making our rivers cleaner. With different types of creatures living by the waters, it's vitally important that we don't pollute their ecosystems. Younger me, how about you tell them about the fun activities we have planned?
The mad scientist uses live bugs that you can only see on the microscope, and he makes them huge on screen. I bet you didn't know ALCOSAN uses bugs to clean the sewage, eh? Hey adults, check out the Wet Weather Village. This is where ALCOSAN shares its information on sewer overflows. It's been in the newspaper, and it's really, really important that you know about it because it's the largest construction project in Allegheny County ever.
Still true today, younger me. Only now you can see some of the construction and check out the all-new Clean Water Plan Zone at Open House. ALCOSAN's Clean Water Plan is a 20-year, $2 billion endeavor that will reduce our overflow problem by 7 billion gallons a year. The 4 pillars of the plan will share some cool information that relates to adults and kids alike, so be sure to check it out. If you need any help at this event, ask anyone in this t-shirt and we'll be glad to assist you.
And we have first aid help if you need it. And we have lost and found at the event information booth.
Wow. While some things never change, some things sure do. For even more informative fun, jump on one of our shuttles for a great tour of ALCOSAN's plan. So, younger me, have anything else to add?
I wish school was this fun every day. Come on, let's go have some fun.
I've been coming to ALCOSAN Open House for over 20 years. A lot sure has changed, but one thing remains the same. You're gonna learn lots and have fun. Now let's get it. Welcome to ALCOSAN Open House.
everyone should mark their calendars for Saturday, September 14th, 2024. Same bad time, same bad chance. Be here,
The 14th.
the 14th.
Sorry, folks, I'm putting it in. And it will be 9 to 4 o'clock, I'm assuming.
9 to 4. Or 9 until people leave.
Until people leave.
I'll give them the option to stay home.
They just are very comfortable. We want to be accommodated.
Was a good day. I certainly wasn't on, I was only staying for 2 hours. We got left about 30. It was a fun time. Thank you for that. Thank you for that review. That was really well done. Thank you so much for everything that was shown. And I'm
Thank you
assuming,
to Derek and Mike Anthony for putting that
well,
together.
thank you.
Well,
That was a drone taking the pictures from above, right?
okay, it was me. Listen, hit the spits. I got all the capability.
I want to thank you for our future meeting and former meeting video. That was very nice. That was so well done. Alrighty, it's hard to move on to serious. All right, the item C is the report on the 2023 operating cost and revenue compared to the budget, and we'll ask Ms. Fantoni to give us this. It goes in accordance with Exhibit A.
Thank you, Madam Chair. That's a really hard act to follow. As of, this report is as of the end of August. So we are 2/3 of the year complete at this point in time. I'm happy to report that we had 66.7% of the year completed. We expended 61.6% of our expenditures that were budgeted, and we collected 72%, I'm sorry, of our revenue. And largely the over budget revenue is due to interest income that has come in excess of what we had originally anticipated. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to take them.
Thank you. There are no questions. We'll move on to item B, WWTP expansion cost report as Exhibit B. Will ask Ms. Kennedy to explain.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, while we took August off, we exceeded $200 million in the value of work completed to date on the wet weather plan expansion. So I consider that a pretty major milestone. Couple projects are really getting close. They will be finishing up here in 2023. That's the electrical distribution system upgrade and the RAS project. But I will tell you that CSO bypass and disinfection is going to start to get pretty busy. So you'll see sort of those two changes as we finish out 2023 and start 2024. But if anybody had any questions about the plan expansion or the cost, I'd be happy to answer them.
Hearing none. Move on to E. Report of actions by the executive director and approval of construction change orders. Resolution 2022-0304. This goes with Exhibit C. Will let Ms. Williams explain this to us.
Madam Chair, these three changes fall into the category of those that are within the contingency that was issued at the time of award. As we progress, you'll see we have two other categories of change orders today. All three are associated with the environmental compliance facility. The first one is for the electrical component. There was a need to move a water heater simply because there wasn't space for it where it had been anticipated, which then led to some additional changes. Also, there was a request by us to make sure that the communications was consistent with what we already have. Second change, just changing things to avoid structural conflicts that had not been anticipated, and adding sealer to before the third one. That's the one for rains and the actual moving of the water here. And this one is the credit. Yes, this is the credit for those. That rounds out the first three changes.
Thank you. I will ask if it okay. Never mind, this is information. We were not voting. Never mind. Forget it. Forget I said anything. Okay. Item F. And then, by the way, it was always nice to see a credit, by the way.
Always.
Item F is a report of actions and approval of construction change orders that are less than 30,000. This goes with Exhibit D. Ms. Williams.
Madam Chair, these are change orders that under the previous policy are less than $30,000 or less than 5% of the overall value of the original contract. And as you said, it's always nice to see a credit. It's so nice we did it thrice. Credit, credit, credit. Some smaller than others. So the first one on the East Head Works. That is a credit that you might not think would be a credit. However, it is removing the duct cleaning and then adding a flow switch. The next two, the emergency sewer contract and the fluid bed incinerator repairs. Both of these changes are associated with unused quantities or uncompleted work. So, as you heard us explain on multiple occasions, sometimes you don't use everything that's called for in the contract. You don't use it, you don't put it or to the other two credits.
And now we move into our action items, and I don't have them listed here, but I want you all to know that we had a professional service committee meeting on September 14th. We had a biosolids committee meeting on the 21st of September, as well as the Green Committee on September 21st. And there are items in here that all three committees recommended to come before the board today for final action. We'll start with item A. We want to approve the minutes of the last board meeting. That was held. Second. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Item B, consider authorizing the payment of invoices in excess of $20,100 for the period of July 18th through September 18th. And this goes along with Exhibit E. Ms. Williams?
Madam Chair, there have been no changes to this exhibit since you received it with your preliminary packet. If you have questions on specific invoices, we will respond.
And I guess if you haven't had any prior to this moment, right? Then okay, but I have a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Carried. Item C is motion to award the following contract. 1779, the annual interceptor cleaning contract to Robinson Pipe Cleaning at the price of $4,591,567. And this goes in accordance with the exhibit.
Madam Chair, as indicated, this is for an annual service in support of cleaning very specific portions of the interceptor system. The pricing is consistent with our engineer's estimate. We have ample experience with Robinson and recommend approval.
Motion to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion is carried. Item, that was item C. That was number one, item, C2 is a contract 1787 miscellaneous tank demolition and replacement to Samacus Company at the price of $1,253,000 at $3. This goes along with Exhibit G, Ms. Williams.
Madam Chair, sometimes the title explains it all.
Okay, all
There
right,
you have it. Again, the companies we are familiar with pricing consistent with our expectations.
thank you. Motion to approve.
Motion approved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Number three, contract 1792 elevator maintenance service to all Otis Elevator Company, the price of $16.75 per month. This information is on Exhibit H. Ms. Williams.
Madam Chair, again, fairly straightforward, good participation. Everybody's familiar with Otis, pricing consistent with the expectation. Recommend forward.
Oh, thank you. Motion to approve, please.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Motion carried. Item D is a motion to approve an extension to the following contracts. And this is listed on Exhibit I. We have contract 1743, which is the biosolids management services, part 1 for the summer. Contract 1743 biosolids management services, part 2 for the winter. And both of these will be awarded to Senator. Ms. Williams.
Madam Chair, as you indicated, the Biosolids Committee met and reviewed this recommendation. This is not as much of an award as it is an extension of service they are already providing. You will note that the exhibit is from May of 2021. This is the bid tabulation for both parts of the contract, summer and winter. You also notice that Birch Hydro is identified as the firm. The board took action in December of last year to assign the Birch Hydro contract to Centergrove, which is referenced in the action items. We have extensive experience with Centergrove. They have provided biosolids management services for quite some time. And this is an opportunity to continue to do good work at the anticipated rates with the necessary fuel adjustments as you see embedded here. And will afford us the opportunity to then come back to the committee and the board next year with a longer term plan.
Motion approved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item E is a motion to authorize the preparation of specifications and advertisement for bids for the following contracts. This we can see on Exhibit J. They are contract 1793, site demolition contract 2, 1794, sewer improvement contract 2024, and 1795, inverted siphon cleaning 2024. Ms. Williams.
Madam Chair, again, site demolition, as Kim referred to earlier, is in keeping with preparing spaces that are on properties we've purchased for furthering of the clean water plan implementation. The second one, sewer improvement contract, you see that there are, again, specific areas of the conveyance system where we're looking to make some inspections and make improvements. It also provides for emergencies as necessary. And number three, inverted siphon cleaning. Who would not want to have their inverted siphons cleaned? Oh, come on, how could the possibility in opposition to that? At 26 locations, it is a consent decree requirement.
I'm sure it is. Okay, a motion to approve, please.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion is carried. Item F is a motion to approve the following change orders that exceed $30,000 in value. This is shown on Exhibit K. This is for contract 1729G East Headworks. Ms. Williams.
Madam Chair, what I hope the board would appreciate about this is, it's not that long ago, you were here for the topping out ceremony. You think about that, and we are now at the point where we're talking about masonry changes. We're making great progress out here. We will continue to have small changes as necessary. Just feeling very fortunate that we are out of the ground and making progress.
Thank you. It's got cloud or something. To see you walk. You know, that's all. That's okay. All right, could I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve the change order.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, that is carried. Item G is a motion to approve the following service authorizations for professional consultants. We will start with number one for GAI under the agreement for engineering consultant services for an amount not to exceed $1,287,960 to perform the state of services under capital projects S-494 gate replacements. Ms. Williams.
Madam Chair, this is the fee for a contract that the board awarded. I'm not telling you to vote on these all together. I'm simply indicating that each of these three are projects that the board authorized us to negotiate. We have brought the fee back. The first one, gate replacements, very specific to the interceptor system. The second one, construction management services for the annual interceptor cleaning contract that you just took care of. The third one, draft tellus breaking form. We've gone to something more financial. As we've discussed in the past, we have not done a full evaluation and assessment of our in-plant infrastructure and valued it for quite some time. That takes care of these three. Again, I'm not telling you to vote on them together. I'm just giving you explanation because you're starting to get a little antsy and I can feel it.
Okay, we will start with G number one, but I have a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That is approved. Item number two for J&T, but I have a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Motion, it sounds like I heard everybody. Did I hear everybody?
You did get it.
Okay, motion is carried. Item number three for Rafe Tellis. I was gonna say Rafe Tellis.
That's it right there.
Okay, Rafe Tellis. All right, could I have a motion to approve for Rafe
So
Tellis?
moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion is carried. Item H, a motion for modification of service authorization 274 for GAI consultants to provide additional engineering support during the ongoing staff testing.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
GAI has been providing service under this authorization since 2015. This is, again, a modification of an existing authorization. The federal government requires testing of emissions from incinerators, sewage, sludge, incinerator emissions are important to them. This provides support.
Thank you. All right, I have a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion is approved. Item I is a motion to award construction management services for contract 1763. Access shafts near the A40 and M49 intersector junction. And contract 1764 for the 015 and 016 access shaft regulator improvements to Delve Underground and to authorize the executive director to pay the fee. Ms. Williams.
Madam Chair, this item and the next are an initial award, having gone through the professional services procurement process brought to the Professional Services Committee after having been shortlisted. Again, support for necessary interceptor work.
I'm just glad it's not just me, so. And you're more familiar with these terms than me. All right,
Hot Fudge Sunday time.
all right, could I have a motion to approve? please?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that's approved. Item J is a motion to award final design services for the Eversol Mill Run and Lower Ohio Interceptor Lining Capital Project S491 to GHD and authorize executive director to negotiate with them.
There you go, interceptor. That's it. Award it, please. Second.
All in favor? Yes, all in favor.
Aye.
Okay, motion carried. Item K is a motion to approve municipal source control project for cycle 8 under the green revitalization of our waterways, which is great program, and provides accessible applicants with a grant agreement. We see this on exhibit L. Ms. Williams.
Madam Chair, we have 12 projects in cycle 8. There were those who doubted when the program was initiated. Growth is alive and well and here to stay. And we're looking forward to conducting workshops with our annual fall workshops with municipalities to identify projects for cycle 9.
I must say the growth projects have been very successful, and I know before we started them, there was a lot of discussion in the community. And a lot of things that I heard were kind of ridiculous. And it's just refreshing to know the projects that are being awarded this and worked on, and the amount of water overflows, you know, that's being taken care of is just tremendous. So it has really turned into a terrific program.
Yeah, I mean, the program is a game changer for so many of our municipalities when it comes to this. There's no way that a lot of them can afford it. This is incredible, so I'm really excited to see this.
Kudos to Tim and company.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, could I have a motion to approve, please?
Motion.
Motion to approve.
All in
Second.
favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that's good. A motion to modify the grant agreements for green revitalization, well, for the growth program by extending the term of contract, exhibit M, Ms. Williams.
Madam Chair, because we do value our partnerships with the municipalities to receive the grants when they need additional time. We continually come back to the board to request that. There are, I believe, 13 this time, and all of the documentation submitted supports extension.
Thank you. Motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Do I have any opposition on that one? Well, I'm just making sure. Okay, item M is a motion to adopt resolution 2023-0901, approving and authorizing the signing of the term sheet and agreements contemplated related to ALCOSAN's acquisition of the Oakdale Pump Station facilities. Ms. Williams.
Madam Chair, with every conversation we had regarding regionalization. We give a lot of emphasis to trunk line being transferred, but there are facilities as well. And this is the first pump station that is a part of that whole transfer process that will come to us. We have been working in earnest with Oakdale, with these other communities since 2019. And here we are, first one. It has been a model and sets the stage for more to come.
Thank you. I have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Item N is a motion to adopt resolution number 2023-9-2, authorizing the condemnation and purchase in lieu of condemnation of 11 parcels of real property identified and that is now firmly owned by the Urban Redevelopment Authority. Ms. Williams.
Madam Chair, while the terminology may change between N, O, P, and Q, all of these property issues are relative to support of continuation of clean water plan implementation. It is all consent decree driven.
And because it is, we hope that it's approved.
Please.
Could I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion is approved. All right, moving on to item O. Motion to adopt resolution 2023-9-03, authorizing the condemnation of property owned by McVens LLC and to acquire property needed to implement the clean water plan. Ms. Williams,
Same thing.
same thing. Okay,
Motion approved.
Second.
all in favor? Aye. Approved. Motion, item P, motion to adopt resolution 2023-9-4, authorizing condemnation of property owned by JRF Investments Incorporated. Again, necessary for clean water plan. Any,
Motion approved.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Some people are just doing this to me.
Madam Chair, the other subjects to be considered here are all under the same authorization. I move the other one to be also.
Thank you. Except for they have to be done separately. I can look them down. So
Okay.
she has to be done separately for sure. Resolution 2023-09-05 has in regard to section 904 of the Pennsylvania eminent domain code. Ms. Williams, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Again, in support of
This is the thing, it's for the clean water, what we need to do. Mr. Rickshaw has already moved, could I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, carried. Item R, again, is to authorize executive director to enter an agreements with Duquesne Light Company to authorize the necessary costs and to build the necessary infrastructure to supply electricity to implement the clean water plan that we must do. Mr. Rickshaw has already moved. Could I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, it is approved. Hey. Do we have any new business, Ms. Williams?
I would be afraid to put anything on the table.
Okay. Then, I think that they will be appropriate. It's time to ask for a motion to adjourn. All in favor? Okay, thank you. It's been a great meeting, everybody.